if you find yourself right now getting triggered by your current circumstances, then this video will definitely help you to overcome triggers and to deal in a better way with triggers and with reacting to what life shows you right now, because we don't want to continue to do that, because that will always reconfirm our unwanted state. Right? If we continue to react, if we continue to get triggered, well, that's definitely an indication that we haven't moved within. And if we continue to react and react and react, well, we're always basically reconfirming the old state that we do not want to continue. And in order for us to understand triggers and where reactions come from, we should look at this illustration right here, which really sums it up. So what we see here illustrated is your inner world and your outer world. So your inner world now illustrated in the green circles and your outer world illustrated in these orange circles. And here we can see what is taking place within and what's the center, right? The center, the core stone on which all things are based, is man's concept of himself, like Neville said, right? I just quoted him, but again, the core is always your state, right? Your main identity, your self-concept, your convictions about yourself, right? The sum total of what you believe and consent to as true. And based from that state, you'll have certain thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and you will also have certain reactions, right? And the reaction is something internal. I mean, it can be then also expressed externally when we then, shout or make an angry face or make a shocked face or whatever, but a reaction still is actually something inside. Sometimes they're like, still reactions where, something's been said and within you feel, your body gets tight, you feel a certain anxiousness or whatever, but it's still happening within first, right? So that is all happening within. And if we again change the state, the thoughts, the emotions, the reactions, they also do change. That's the cool thing about it. And then in orange, we see what we would say is happening out there, what we can also see in the external world. That is your actions, right? And that is also obviously your results, the manifestations, the new circumstances, right? But it starts from here. It doesn't start from here. It doesn't go from without to within. It goes from within to without, right? If you change your state, your thoughts, your reactions, your actions, and your results change. It's not when you change your actions that your state changes. That when you change your actions, you can grow a lot. That's why Neville said you can't outperform your concept of self. You can't, with new actions, in a sense, cover up your inner state. Your inner state is always what you come back to. So we need to change that if we want to see new reactions. And if we want to, we need to understand this illustration first if we want to understand how to deal better with our triggers. Because again, triggers are not a bad thing. You will probably, continuing for your life, you will have certain things that trigger you. But now in this video and on the next slide, I will give you a very healthy way to see your triggers, and you will understand that they're actually nothing bad and how you deal with them. Okay, so let's jump into this right now. So the question is, right, should I avoid triggers in order to manifest my desires, right? Should I cover my eyes? Should I not look on Instagram to hopefully not, see any images that I don't want to see? Should I not speak with this person because they might ask me about my desire, right? There's also this big question that people have, like, what if people ask me about my desire? I get triggered about this all the time. So should you avoid this? The real and the main answer is no, and I will tell you why in a second. You can avoid it as a little external permission slip. It can help you to not get lured into the old state so quickly, but it's still not the final solution, because it's like, you're getting triggered about your money situation and you move across the world because you think, oh, there everything is good. And then there is someone asks you who is not a friend and who asks you, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what about money? Hey, what about this and that? What about your relationship life? And you still get triggered. So you see, it's not so much about what is happening there. It's more about where do you stand within that will determine if and how you are triggered. So 1,000 people could read the same headline, virus is going on, or financial crisis, or this is happening. Yet not everyone would be triggered, because they all stand in different states. So triggers, what do triggers do, in my opinion? Well, they uncover a lack within yourself, right? A seemingly lack within yourself, where you feel like you lack something. But it's like, a good example is, people that want to manifest their desired partner, or people that want to manifest a relationship in general, when you walk outside and you see a couple, or when you see a success story, I manifested this person, I manifested a relationship, and then you feel like, oh, why they, not me? You feel triggered that you don't have it yet. Well, that is revealing where you stand in that moment. In that case, not having it. And you look at and you say, oh, this would be nice. Why them, not me? Why am I not having it yet? And so this trigger uncovers where you have a seemingly lack within yourself in this moment, right? So triggers, reactions to life are the number one indication showing you in which state you dwell. They are nothing bad. You don't need to run away from it, right? Triggers are good. They point towards your desires. You could only be triggered by seeing a couple when you react to that and you're like, I wish I would also be happily partnered. I wish I would also be with my person. Or you see people with money, or there is an expensive item that you can't buy it, but that you kind of want. And if you're triggered by this, you have a reaction towards that. Well, what it actually points to is a desire that you have, right? What you want, because triggers show you that you want something to be different, because you would not be triggered when things would be as you want them to be. Let me repeat that. You would not be triggered if things would be as you want them to be. You're only triggered because there is something that makes or that shows you what you have a lack inside of you, and because you don't have that. But if you would have the money, you would not be triggered of the expensive item. If you would have the relationship, you would not be triggered by seeing a couple. It's not the outside thing that is the problem. It's not when your parents or friends ask you about your desire and you feel triggered because they ask you. It's not, the problem is not that they ask you that. You should not, it's not that you need to relocate and dismiss them and leave them alone, right? You still carry that lack state with you. So it's really about where you dwell within. That is the key indication, because if you dwell in the wish fulfillment, people could ask you about that thing you want to manifest and you would be calm, you would be chill. You could see a couple, if you know yourself to be happily partnered, if you know yourself to be with your desired person, if you have that alive within you, then if you see someone else sharing a specific person's success story, it wouldn't trigger you, right? So the external is not the problem. The question is, where do you dwell within? And again, that brings me back to this illustration that I showed you, right? It's not what you see here outside. That can still show you it's not there yet. But if you're within or in the wish fulfilled, it won't bother you. So again, they point you towards a desire, meaning triggers are an opportunity to grow and to outgrow your current state. If you see triggers as, oh, I got triggered again, I'm in my old state, this is not working, I'm doing something wrong, that's how you perceive it. If you perceive it as, oh, I'm triggered right now, interesting. When would I no longer be triggered? Well, obviously when I would have my desire. Well, let me move in that state where I have my desire within. Well, trigger falls away, because again, the triggers, the reactions to life come from your current state. So in the wish fulfilled state, you can no longer react in the same way towards your current circumstances as you do in your current state, right? And that's why the reactions to life are the number one indicator showing you if you have shifted. If you still react the same way to your current circumstances than you did all the time, you haven't moved. But if you move within and the circumstances still show you the same, because sometimes they take a while to reflect back the new state, but this is no longer making you react and you're getting no longer triggered, that's a good sign that you've shifted within, right? The trigger is not the problem. The problem is when you remain in your current state. The problem is when you don't do anything about getting triggered. Getting triggered happens. Expect it. Don't run away from your triggers, right? It's fine. But if you got triggered, you should observe it. You should acknowledge it. You should check in with yourself. And then you should align yourself back within to the end state. The trigger is not taking away anything. The trigger, the reaction to life, is not taking away your desire. But your desire won't really show up externally if you keep getting triggered and reacting all the time and you remain in that old state. So once you're triggered, notice it's not bad at all, but then reposition yourself within. Shift within, make a radical internal realignment, and identify yourself again as the version of yourself that has already accomplished the goal. Imagine the end again. Experience the end within again. Right? Use whatever method helps you to anchor yourself back in the knowingness and the calmness and the conviction, in the understanding that you are already who you want to be. Right? So don't run away from what triggers you. Instead, change the inner state, and then the triggers will dissolve. Right? You don't dissolve the triggers by fighting what's out there, by telling people, hey, don't ask me about my desire, or by no longer looking at images. Right? That's you running away from the triggers. That's you running away from something. But you still carry that lack state in you. But if you change your inner state so that it aligns with the end state, you shift into the wish fulfilled state, then the triggers will dissolve. And the same circumstances that previously triggered you can no longer trigger you because you have shifted within. And you have understood that your reactions to life always come from your inner state, not from what is happening. All right? So let me know in the comments if that helped you. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. If you need more help, you can check out my free masterclass. That's like a 30-minute straight to the point video helping you how to shift, summarizing the main problems that people encounter in their journey. And if you want to work with me, if you want personal help on your specific situation, then you can apply for my program. Go on a call with my team. They will not sell you something. They will literally diagnose the situation and find out where are you, where do you want to go, can we support you. We usually can support a lot of people because we have helped people in all life areas. If it's specific people, relationships, objects, cars, apartments, money, business success, health, friendships, new lifestyle, every desire that you probably have right now, there's at least one person in my program that we help to accomplish that. So if you want that help, check out my program. If not, keep learning for free on YouTube. And if you want to get started, maybe you don't want to commit to, such a program yet, you can go to my website, upgradeyourlife.com, and you can join my inner circle. That is a community of like-minded people where the people in there support each other to manifest their goals. That's only $50, so a very low ticket investment. And it also includes a mini version of my program, right? So that is it. I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.